Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got a 10 times summon coming up from tomorrow. So if you guys want to get involved, you can. I will give you all of the details of the champions right now. But bear in mind, I'm also dropping a video literally right now about a fusion event which is starting a week today. So bear in mind, shard counts, what do you need, all that good stuff. Also, have you been keeping an eye on these amazing 13th birthday events? Rewards like we've never seen before. Maybe it was this. Oh no, sorry. They're exactly the same rewards as every other event. Raid, where is your imagination? Right, let's do this. First champion in the mix for this 10 times event. If you're going to pull your shards, I would advise not to pull shards for this event. But some of you might just be like, I pull shards whenever I can, especially if there's some juicy champions up for grabs. We got a dude here who loves falcons, yeah? He even wears one on his head. It's got to weigh some, right? That has got to be weighing you down. A big metal falcon just like on your head. Anyway, what's going on? Decreased attack A1. It's not a bad one. This is a decent kind of like clan boss ability here. We've got a ally protection A2. It's a real shame there's not something more to this ability, because ally protection is one of the best clan boss abilities in the game. On a 3-turn is solid, but it's kind of like, come on, and like give him something else with this, and he hits or something like something else. It's just a bit of a wasted turn compared to other ally protectors that are out there. Maybe if he put a shield on his team at the same time, maybe if he dropped defense of the enemy at the same time, like. He just needs to do something else here to make him a really like valuable clan boss champ. He does have a shield here on a 2-turn cooldown, which is mental, by the way. So again, this is nice for clan boss as well, but it's also really solid for the Scarab boss. So placing a shield for the same duration as your cooldown is where it's at if you're trying to beat up the Scarab boss. So this is one of the few champions that's able to do it. There's only, I think, 3 others that can do this. So it is actually a really solid ability for that. Brings HP in Doom Tower. Gives you good base stats. He's a good champion. He's just not a great champion. And it's mainly because it feels like something else needs to happen here. He only actually hits with one ability. So even if you put like War Master on him, he's only going to get War Master hits here. It's just kind of like needs something else to make him great. Let's move to the next one. This is a great champion, a great epic. We have got Melda Steel Girdle. Melda with a double mallet things. She's got chance to remove debuffs on her A1. Cannot remove a debuff from this champion. So it's, chance to remove debuff from allies on her A1. 50 chance, goes up to 75. It's actually quite a cool A1, to be honest. She's got a shield ability here. So hers is on a 3-turn cooldown. 20% of her max HP is nice. Also puts continuous heals out as well. That's good. Like, see what I mean here? Melda's doing 2 things versus the Falcon doing 1 thing. But this is on a 3-turn cooldown. This is a really solid ability. And then she backs it up with a 2-people revive, turn me to feel, shield ability as well. Like, there's loads going on with this A3. It's a really good revive. She's great for this faction, for Faction Wars. She's great for just like a general support unit as you're going through dungeon waves and that type of thing. So Melda is a decent epic to get your hands on. Next one up is a Shadowkin, the furry fella. Boragah. Lovely looking champion, this one. Awesome champ design. So what's going on here? Reminds me of Blanca from Street Fighter 2. So we got an A1 with a provoke. So I mean, it's only a 40% if booked chance, but he is defense-based. He's got a really high base defense. So it makes him quite tanky as a kind of natural build. And a provoke against Hydra Head we now like. So Boragah could come into that. We've got an AoE stun. This is really rare to find in epic champions. 60% chance, really good for wave control. Stun's probably the best debuff in terms of control that there can be. So that on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown is actually really solid. And then he's got this strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Strengthen straight up reduces your damage you take by 25%. Really powerful. And then he gives you the shield for 2 turns on all allies with less than 50% HP. The shield is equal to 15% of the target's max HP. So it's a much worse shield because it's based on the target rather than yourself. But it's still quite a nice little buff if someone is low. This is on a 4 turn. He's got a cool passive as well. So heals this champion by 50% of their max HP. So heals himself by 50% whenever an ally dies or an enemy dies. So when those bombs are blowing up in Bommel, he's taking massive heals. Makes him really viable for solo Bommel stuff, as well as just being in Bommel teams. Resisting all battles, good base stats. So another decent epic. And then the last of the epics is a... Not there, it's there. Is a lizard, Scathix. So Scathix, lizardman. He's got his barrel of fish. Got a few fish hanging down here as well. Again, like the other dude loves falcons. This guy eats fish for days. Good champion as well. So Scathix is another good epic. This is a void epic. Good base stats. Decreased speed A1 is solid. AoE, chance to steal 1 buff from each enemy. 75% goes up to 100. This is nice. And then, because you're stealing the buffs rather than just ripping them off. It's actually really useful. And he's got a remove, so full cleanse for a team. Then places a shield and block debuffs. And the shield is 20% of this champion's HP. Got a good base HP. This is on a 4 turn. This is a great cleanse. You cleanse and then you replace it with block debuffs and a shield. It's actually a great skill. So Scathix coming in pretty clutch with this ability. Got passive as well. Puts block damage on this champion if he was going to die. Pretty nice. Resistance in all battles. So the epics in this group are all kind of good. None of them are what I'd class as top tier. Maybe Melga gets close, but none of them are top tier, but they're all decent. Okay, let's get on to the legendaries then. I was going to do one. I'm going to save her because she's probably the best. Let's save her till last. We got Boragah. Oh man, he looks funky, doesn't he? He's a funky looking dude. I'm not certain about this guy. I don't have him. I think his kit sounds really interesting, but I've not really seen him played in any endgame stuff. So what we got? A1, 50% goes up to 65% chance of placing increased defense on an ally with the lowest HP. It's a weird A1, right? Will not be placed on this champion. It's 100% if he crits. So you basically you've got to build him to crit, and then he's going to give whoever's lowest HP increased defense buff, which gives them survivability. It's a cool A1, actually. It's really cool. A2 removes 1 debuff from all allies, so it's a mini cleanse, and then puts shield out there. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and it's a decent shield. And then he's got an increased resistance buff and increased speed for all allies on a 4-turn. This is where he's quite interesting, because if you get him to go fast and first, chances are you can keep debuffs from just landing on you. If you build a semi-resistance team, and then he's given a 50% like boost to resistance, that should be enough to stop stuff happening to you. Obviously, it can be countered with increased accuracy and then someone ripping stuff off still. But it is definitely an interesting buff for resistance-based teams. And then we've got allies receive 10% less damage from champions whose resistance is lower or equal to theirs. Again, if you're building that style of team, it should just be a straight 10% damage mitigation, which is really useful as well. So I feel like his kit is cool. Resistance in all battles. I just don't really see him being played. Maybe because resistance isn't like forefront in the meta. So next one up, was actually a champion. I think he was part of a guaranteed summon event or something like that. He's wearing his old granddad's cloak, and it was way too big for him, but he still put it on out of pride. Really, again, a really cool looking skin. He's looking so sour-faced because this weighs a ton as well. He's a bit like the Falcon. He's like, damn, take this off of my head. But he is a good champion. So great base stats. A1 transfers a random debuff from him to someone else. Also a chance to steal a random buff from the target. So it's like double whammy. You take my nasties and I'll take your good stuff. Pretty cool. A2 is an increased accuracy buff. This is definitely useful in a lot of content in the game. Then puts heal reduction out on everyone and a chance of block buffs, which goes up to 100%. This is a great A2. 3-turn cooldown, awesome A2. And then you've got certain factions which just cannot resist these debuffs, which is pretty useful as well. Heals all allies by 30% of their max HP and then puts increased defense on. That's a great skill by itself, by the way. If 4 or more allies are alive, gives them a shield as well, equal to 30% of their max HP. On a 4-turn, he's just a great champion. It takes a bit of time to cycle back to these abilities, but damn, these 2 abilities are really strong. He's also got removes all decreased defense and weakened buffs or debuffs from him at the start of a turn. So he could just never keep those type of debuffs on, which again is pretty good for like arena type stuff if he gets to last that turn. Increased accuracy in all battles. He's a really good champion. Like, he's just a really solid legendary champ. I'm going to do the legendary Void champion next, Blind Seer. I don't know, like, she's really solid. She's not played a lot. She's got the fastest base speed in the game. She's got really good base stats. Her kit is solid, but she's not really played. It's weird. So triple hit A1. Each hit a chance to drop enemy turn meter. So if you're against one target, you've got, if you book it out, 40% chance of just turn meter dropping, but it's only a 15% drop. Still not bad though, right? Like Fire Knight, this is a great ability. A triple hit is great anyway, and then you've got turn meter drop going in as well. It's actually good. Also, Faction War bosses, this is a great ability. She's got a block, debuffs, and then shield on her A2. 3-turn cooldown if you book it out with a juicy old shield, 30% max HP. This is nice. And then you've got a full team revive with block damage on when they come up. 5-turn cooldown. It's probably the best revive in the game, potentially. Or one of them anyway. But again, as I say, not really used. Increases defense in all battles by the highest that you can get. This is a sexy champion. You know what she's missing? A sexy passive to go with her sexy look. She had a fun passive as well. I think she would just kind of raise the game and get herself into a lot of teams. But as it stands, she's not quite making it. She's just not quite making it right now. So last one up then, and this is the one I skipped earlier, is going to be Valkyrie. For those who followed the Clan Boss competition last week that Deadwood put out, which I won, by the way. Come on! Valkyrie was one of the most significant champions for my team. She enabled my team to go long into Clan Boss. She's one of the best champions in the game for Clan Boss if you're not building an unkillable team. She's got an A1 double hitter with a turn meter drop. It's actually quite nice. Can be annoying if you're running Faction Wars on full auto. There's so many of the Barbarian waves where, towards the end game anyway, where you're hitting people that put unkillable on themselves. And she's just coming in there, dropping turn meter. You're like, let the guy have a turn. But it is generally a useful ability. She's got this massive shield and counterattack. 3-turn cooldown if you book it, and you kind of need to on her A2. This is so counterattack on your full team is very rare in the game anyway. But with a shield as well, and the shield is proportional to your defense, it scales infinitely based on the amount of defense you can put on her. So if you can get her up to like 7k, you basically take the defense number, times that by 4, and that'll give you your shield value that you put on every champion. So if you've got 7k defense, then you put increased defense on yourself as well, get another 60%. That gives you what, like 10 or 11k or something. Then you times that by 4, and you give yourself your shield value. So you can get yourself like a 40,000 HP shield if you get her in the right type of build. It's basically, I didn't even need healing in my team. That's how insane it was. She blocked the damage with the shield. I also had Ally Protect as well, but she did the work. So yeah, Valkyrie is still an awesome champion. The rise of the unkillable team has kind of put her a little bit further down than she used to be, but still, she's freaking awesome for a lot of content. So yeah, Valkyrie is in the mix. But as I said earlier, we've got a fusion drop in a week, and you need shards to be able to achieve fusions. So it's up to you if you're going to pull shards or not on the weekend, but there's some great epics and good legendaries in there as well. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.